So the original plan today was to head towards Glencoe and bag Ben Doran today. It's one I've had on my list for a little while, but not quite got round to. But unfortunately, on checking the weather forecast last night, the winds up in the Highlands today are crazy strong. So I kind of looked at the Ben Doran area, and the winds were up to sort of 70 miles an hour up on the summit, which is far stronger than I would be willing to walk in. And I also checked some of the others. I looked over towards the Cairngorms, and that was just as bad. And then sort of the central region, sort of around like Pitlochry kind of area, I looked at as well. And winds on the peaks there were getting up towards 100 miles an hour. And there's absolutely no chance I'd be willing to go out in that. So, long story short, I'm up to do Carnethy Hill today, which is in the Pentland Hills, so really close to us. I'm only 10 minutes away just now, and it's only actually a 20-minute drive from my front door. I've done quite a lot of the hills in the Pentlands already, but I haven't done Carnethy, so that's the plan for today. So that's me just parked up at the car park behind the wee pub by the road here. I can't remember the name of the pub. I might go for a coffee, perhaps lunch, on my way back. We'll see. So I'm not 100% sure where the path goes here. I did have the sort of All Trails map up on my phone, but the phone signal's rubbish here, so I'm not going to be able to see it. But I've got a paper map with us, of course. And I think the path's kind of well marked on that, so I might stop and have a look. But I know I kind of trundle along this path towards the reservoir here for the first part of the walk. It's a little bit windy here, so hopefully audio is going to come out all right. And yeah, I'll crack on for a little bit, and then I'll put the camera back on and maybe have a talk about the area once perhaps we've got a little bit more of a view. That's the wind certainly picking up now. I'm definitely glad I'm not out up in the Highlands in this. As I say, hopefully you can still hear what I'm saying all right. I'm going to try and walk up this hill sideways so I'm out of the wind a little bit. So yeah, as I say, this is Carnethy Hill that I'm going up here. It's sort of that hill you can't quite see from here, I don't think. That sort of hill behind me. So this is the second largest hill in the Pentlands. I do have a note of how high it is, but forgot to have a look at it before I started recording. I think it's around 570 metres, somewhere around about that. Rightio, I'm just stopped under a wee tree here. It's kind of a bit more sheltered from the wind here, so I thought I'd stop and take a moment to talk to you. Don't know if you can see down there is another two people coming up in this direction. That way we're looking out over there, that's that town over there, I think that's Pennycook there, and we're sort of looking out over towards sort of East Lothian in that direction. So here's the wee little shelter I found myself. It's almost a perfect wee seat to sit here and look across at the view. So this, for those of you who don't know the Pentlands, and by the way, I was pretty much spot on with the height of this one. It's 573 metres, so it's only 3 metres off with my guess from earlier. So, but this area, the Pentlands, they're really popular because it's so easily accessible from Edinburgh. Sort of Mid-Lothian, East Lothian, West Lothian. You can get here pretty easily. It's right on the city bypass to get up here, good road network, all that sort of stuff. But it's got a really rich history as well. And I'll talk to you a bit more about that as we go on through the day. But so there's a couple of sites of sort of prehistoric settlements here. We're not actually going to go past any of the ruins of that today. But have a look online if you're interested. There is, I say, quite a rich history around these parts, and we'll have a chat about that when pardon me. We'll have a chat a bit more about the history of the area when I find places where I'm a bit sheltered from the wind as we crack on. Okay, so I've just come down from up there. That's Turnhouse Hill up in that direction. And if you give me a second, I'll turn you around. Okay, so up that way behind me there, that's Carnethy Hill itself up there. Now, the wind at the top of Turnhouse Hill was ferocious, to say the least. So, given that these hills are on my doorstep, and I was struggling to walk in the wind up there, I think I might actually make the decision not to do Carnethy Hill today and leave that for another day. You can do that from the other side, so it means I don't have to do Turnhouse Hill again when I come back to get Carnethy Hill. But I think just given how difficult it is to walk in the wind there, I wasn't quite pushed over, but almost. I think the sensible thing to do here is to not do that one today and drop down to the reservoir and head back to the car. It's still a good day out on the hill, still a good walk, but just not getting Carnethy Hill in today. Again, these hills are on my doorstep. There's a little micro light going over. I don't know if you can hear that. These hills are right on my doorstep. I think if I was up in the Highlands, I might make a different decision if I've driven for 2 hours to get to a hill. But I'm certainly glad I'm not up that way today. If the wind is like this down here, it's almost certainly worse up there. So I'll start dropping down now, and hopefully when I get down into the valley, I'll be out of wind and I can talk to you a little bit more. So let me tell you a little bit of a story about this reservoir here. So this is Glencorse Reservoir, and it turns out there's ruins of a cathedral underneath this reservoir. So St. Catherine's Chapel is under the waterline there, the ruins of anyway. And there's only one other place I know where there is sort of ruins underneath the reservoir, and that's Kielder Reservoir down in the north, sort of the north of England, just over the border. I'm sure there's probably others, but that's the only one that I know of. But the story goes that the building of the chapel here was linked to a medieval story of a royal deer hunt. And according to the story, King Robert the Bruce took part in the hunt and successfully stalked a white deer. And to mark the location and display gratitude, Sir William had a chapel built in his honour in the glen here. And it's obviously a reservoir now, but it wouldn't have been back in medieval times, of course. So that's the wee story. I think you'd wander past this sort of area and not even know that something like that happens. There might be an information board somewhere. If there is, I'll get a wee photograph of it. But yeah, a wee interesting fact about this reservoir here. You need to forget when you're out in places like this that you're not too far away from a city. But I'll tell you why I've been reminded that I'm probably only about 5 miles away from Edinburgh city centre here. So find when you're out in the Highlands and stuff, you know, it attracts a certain type of person, doesn't it, to go out and walk in those kinds of areas. And I find that those people, on the most part, tend to be really friendly. You know, everyone likes to help each other out, and you know, you've kind of got an appreciation for other people that do that sort of hill walking. So everybody says hello to each other as a bare minimum. Everybody says hello to each other. Most of the time, you stop and have a conversation. But here, I've only passed 2 groups of people, 2 sorts of sets of couples, and I've instinctively said hello to both sets of people because I'm out in the countryside. I got a hello back off the first set of couples, although a bit of a surprised sort of hello back. But the second set, I just got kind of looked at as if I'm the weirdo, which I suppose in this situation I might be. But yeah, little observation, that's all. unfortunately that lovely looking pub is closed for refurbishment, so that won't be happening today, unfortunately. Let's see if we can find something else on the way home. Unfortunately, despite stopping at Dobby's Garden Centre Cafe on the way home, I was unsuccessful in finding any food. It was far too busy for me to wait in the queue, unfortunately. But thanks for watching my failed attempt at climbing Carnethy Hill today. Go ahead and do all of that good YouTube stuff. Follow, like, subscribe, thumbs up, comments. It's all very helpful. And I'll see you on the next one.